And that shouldn't be it. You should be in a place where you are able to engage on your own terms. You shouldn't change who you are, but you should be able to be observant as Onye and pick out things that you can do to improve the people's life around you. Don't think only about what you can gain from something, but think about what you can give. And you'll be shocked. Everybody here has something to give. Every single person. Everybody has something to give, but it's about you deciding how you want to impact people. For instance, when I started this in 2011 on and off, I didn't even start in 2011. I didn't know as much as I do now, but I have been learning. So welcome everyone that is joining us on YouTube. We're just having a conversation. You're welcome to DIY Branding with DK Jonah. So today we're going to be talking about how you can create systems that enables you get things done so that you're not just working and unable to retrieve information. The way we work in the digital world, we work with information, we work with data. Good news, data is everywhere. Bad news, data is everywhere. So if data is everywhere, how do we use this information and data in a way that we can retrieve what is relevant for us when we need it? We do not push projects aside because we are forgotten about them, but we can stay on track and ensure that we are growing consistently. It's about growing at your own pace, understanding yourself and understanding what works not just for you, but what works for the team. Because the way we work impacts our results. The way we show up online impacts our results. The way we show up offline impacts our results. So even if you are scrolling, most of the time online, we are observing and just scrolling. But in our lives, we are being very active. How can we show up for ourselves daily? It's about understanding time. It's about understanding yourself and understanding your goals and objectives that you may have. So what I'm going to be talking about is how you can create a core system that works for you and does exactly what you want it to do. MS said it's a bit too technical, but I'm a geek. Core system is basically having a system that is your system. Everybody works in a different way. Everybody learns in a different way. I will have told everybody to take a personality test so that you understand yourself, but it's not a bad idea to take it. Some people believe in this personality test, some people don't. Some people believe in astrology, some people don't. I believe that sometimes some of these things point us in the right direction, but we should not get too invested in them, but rather they should just signpost us to areas in our lives that have become our blind spots. Now, you're wondering, what's a blind spot? Okay, so I am someone that I may not observe the things around me, because when you're looking forward, you can't be looking back. There are certain things that are be out of the reach of your eyes that you may not see and others may see. But if you identify your own blind spots in time, you are able to do better. So for instance, I am an introvert. Anybody that sees you say, DK is an introvert. But when you get to know her, you'll be surprised. I remember I was talking to someone and the person described me as quiet, and my friends were like, forget it, it's not going to work. DK doesn't like you. Because if she does, she will chat you up. But if she's still being quiet and she's not being able to put herself in front of you properly, it's just not flowing for her. Everyone has a different way of working. I want you to understand yourself so much. We talked about your core, so I don't need to go into so much definition. But for those that are just joining today, your core is at the center of who you are. So what's the system at the center of who you are that makes you work better? And if you don't have a good system, what can you learn to do that would improve the way you get things done? Because some things are nurtured, some things that we have to learn them, some things that are natural for us. So the ones that we have to nurture, why don't we nurture it in the right way by taking what comes to us naturally first, and then nurturing it to become the best people that we can be? So it's not how good you are. In life, you either win or learn. Some people say you either win or lose, but Chris Dose says you either win or learn. Even if you do not win a contract or you make a mistake, where I always take it from this, what lesson can I learn from this? Sometimes when things don't go our way, we get disappointed, we get upset, and we are kind of down. Oh, I failed. No. What lessons can you learn from this situation at this point in time? Yes, this thing may not have succeeded, but that doesn't make you a failure. I think as individuals, especially if you went to a system that getting into university was difficult and you've taken an exam, so I'm a Nigerian, so I can only speak about what I know. And you've taken JAM the first time, you did not pass it. Second time, you did not pass it. Sometimes some people see themselves as failures because they're not able to follow the traditional routes that everybody else anticipated they should follow. But I just want people to realize that sometimes things do not work out, but that doesn't make you a failure. It means that you can learn from that experience. You may have a different way of learning, you may have a different way of observing, but figure out what comes to you naturally and learn from that experience and improve yourself. So the beautiful thing about the internet is there's information, like I said, that you could all Google and find out how to improve yourself. But sometimes you could get the wrong information. So it's how to observe, find out what's good for you and stick to it. That's what we are going to be looking at today. He said it's not about how good you are, it's about how good you want to be. And this is important. Sometimes we come and say, oh, I'm not good at graphics, I'm not good at this. We know the things that we are not good at. But how good do you want to be? How badly do you want it? Sometimes we focus on what we are not good at so much. Oh, I'm not good when it comes to graphics. I'm not good when it comes to editing videos. I'm not good at this. Okay, if we know that it's something that your job needs, then you need to ask yourselves a few questions. What do you know? What don't you know that you need to know? What do you have to learn to know about what you don't know? And how much time do you have? That's a typographical error, sorry. So what do you know? Simply this. I know that I will use myself as an example and somebody else can also come on board and try that. I think making it interactive will make it beautiful. What do I know? I know that branding is important. I know that I do branding naturally. I know content creation is important. I know people need to create content. What don't you know that you need to know? I need to learn how to do graphics. I need to learn how to edit videos. I need to learn how to negotiate and get better contracts for my team. I need to learn how to delegate without pinpointing. So I know that I need to learn these things. What do I have to learn to know what I don't know? If I want to learn graphics, yes, I need to learn how to use Photoshop or some other things. If I want to learn how to negotiate and get better business deals, I will need to learn how to negotiate. I will need to learn how to get understand numbers, how to handle objections in an objective way when people are bringing unnecessary expectations. I will need to learn how to manage clients' expectation. How much time do I have to learn? How much time do I have to learn? So if I want to take a course on negotiating, how much time would that course take me? Do I have the time? Do I have the money? Time in the sense that I already work 7 days a week. So where am I going to squeeze that time in to learn what I want to learn? Are the resources available online? So as individuals, we must know fully, we must know what we don't know. Sometimes and why I'm saying that is, you know where you're going. You know that in order to be the person that owns the next banana island, you need to understand real estate, you need to understand certain things. So you're like, okay, I know that I want to become the next Bill Gates, for example. I want to create a software. Okay, that's what you know. What don't you know that you need to know? I need to know that, okay, I'm a computer geek, but I don't know the business aspect. What do you have to learn? I have to learn how to interact with people and come out of from behind my computer in order to be able to engage people and get the funding I need. How much time do you have? So answering these questions as individuals helps you gain clarity and helps you amplify your message. So as a brand, you can take this for a brand also, but we're talking about individuals. Next week, we're going to go into branding. Don't worry. No, it's not going to be next week because we're not meeting on Monday. But who wants to give it a try about what do you know? What don't you know that you need to know? It could be about social media. It could be about life. It could be about marriage. It could be about cooking. It could be about anything. Does anybody want to give it a try?
Hello.
Yes, Onye. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, so I don't know about graphics, but
Mhm.
I would like to know about graphics and designing and all of that. Because sometimes when I try to interpret what I have in my head and it's something another person, because they are not in your head, so they don't really know what. And I'm like, this is not it. This is not what I said. So they're like, and we are having that back and forth, and it just gets exhausting. So I'm like, okay, you just have to learn these things so that you will not be like, and when you like go back and forth with people, it now tends to seem like you are exhausting to deal with. So that I think graphics is like something like I need to
Yeah, that's fantastic. At least you've known that about yourself. And I think it's important that you understand what you don't know and what you want to learn. And you're very, very observant. And okay, so how much time do you have to learn what you want to learn? Are you willing to dedicate time to it? Have you decided that, okay, this is what I want to learn? I want to dedicate time to it.
yes, ma. Actually, that's hard. That's hard because I'm. Let me not say I'm lazy, but but when I like look at all the whole things, anything I see, I think numbers scare me because when I start seeing numbers, this has to be this inches. This has like I don't like math, so when I see numbers, I'm like,
What do you
what's
like?
going on here? I just ma.
What do you like if you don't like maths? So now you've said what you don't like. So for me, this is how I would put it. Start with 1 minute or 5 minutes. Don't start with learning the most difficult thing. Because if you don't learn graphics, what are the consequences? So that's a question you
Well,
have
if
to ask
I
yourself.
don't learn it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can answer. What are the consequences for you?
I just feel my ideas will not be like interpreted properly, and what I have what I have in mind to do might not be properly portrayed, kind of. So it's gonna like really affect me when I want to start like my own brand sooner, like later. I mean,
Mhm.
so that's just what I feel.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, um, and so you have to understand that there are consequences of us not knowing. And I think that's one thing I had to tell myself. There are consequences of us not knowing. When I started with graphics, if I show you my first graphic design, and everybody was like, this is so beautiful. Now when I look at it, I'm like, were we all blind? But the consequences of me not improving my graphics, when I looked at my first slide I did for the first course I did in 2016, it was ridiculous. But now the consequences of me staying on that path since 2016 till date would have been, I won't be here to teach you. So we have to think about the fact that there are consequences of us not knowing what we should know. So what do you have to know to take your brand, to take your client, to take your business to the next level? Because if we don't learn those things, then we are not going to be at the pace or at the level we want to be. So this is a question I want everybody to answer. You can take a screenshot so you can answer the question yourself. What do you know? Because we focus on what you don't know. If I look at myself, what do I know? What's your unfair advantage? So we talked about what are the things at your core. Remember, we started with your core last week. So those are the things you know. Sometimes we point out what we don't know so much that we forget the things that we know, the things that come to us naturally, but every other person struggles with. There are certain things that I do at impulse, and some people will be like, no matter how I try, I can't do it. I don't like driving. So there are some people that once they just get behind the wheel, they're like in heaven. And me, I'm like, I love being chauffeured around, please. My younger sister is the opposite. If she gets into a place, she wants to get behind the wheel. Certain things come to people naturally. What comes to you naturally? What do you know about your field, about life, Observe those things and you'll be surprised what will happen. So now this is a way we work. You will get the slides, don't worry. Am I supposed to share the slides? To me, you remind me. But it's how to organize your work. We talked about what you don't know and what you know. Most of these things are determined by your goals and your objectives. So we all know what a goal is, but something you're trying to achieve, a place you're trying to reach. It's not about scoring a goal or something like that, but it's about getting something into a certain place. So a goal is an aim or objective that you work towards with effort and determination. Most of you are here for one goal or the other: to improve yourself, to find out how to earn more income through digital marketing, to improve your business, to work on a job. So you all have a goal. An objective is different. It's a clear statement of what you want to accomplish by the end of your project. So my objective is this with DIY branding. I want to equip at least 1,000 or 1 million. I used to say 1,000 before, but I've increased the number with DIY branding to make them create their own personal brand and earn an income for themselves. That's my objective. My goal is to teach you how to use digital marketing, but my objective is different. I will then say, okay, what are my key results? What are the things I'm going to measure to ensure that I am getting XYZ done? So I'm going to create planners. So my planner is coming out. I'm creating a paid course. I have DIY branding, which is my free course. So I have different things that are key things on the way to achieving my goal. However, life can get in the way. You get busy and you forget why you started what you're doing. You have good intentions of completing something. You're like, oh yes, I will do it. But we forget that we only have 24 hours. I don't know a way to multiply 24 to 48 hours, because I think even if I have 48 hours, it won't be enough for me. So we've created this path system that will help you stay on track. For us, we do what we call projects. A project is a specific client. So if I'm doing something for Kiki, I'll call that project Kiki. If I'm doing a project for Timei, I'll call that project Timei. But we call the project a client or anything that walks through our door. We can have different things on that project, but that is a main project for this. So if you're here for your personal brand, that is your project. If you're here for your business, that is the project. So a project is just one core thing that you are doing. It will include different levels of things that need to be done. So even if I'm calling this the path framework, it doesn't follow this path. It actually goes PTAR, but it doesn't go to spell path. So me, I'm just calling it path in anti-clockwise motion. Then what happens is this: we put so many things on our list every day that we are unable to accomplish them. We do not break down projects into tangible tasks that we can see or into lists. So we can now pick one thing to do at a time. In order to accomplish your projects in branding, there are certain things that need to be done. So what are these things that need to be done? So we then create a list, and that's what I call your task list. Your task list is every single thing that needs to be done to accomplish that project. And I will give you an example of a task list. So you have a master list and a daily to-do list. Your master list is basically your major task list. So in order for me to build a personal brand, what do I need to do? I need to do certain things, and these things have sub list, and everything keeps going down. So the best thing to do is, first of all, list everything you think you will need to do to accomplish the project. And when you do that, you'll be able to come up with a wonderful thing. So this is our branding task list. So we know that when we get any brand projects, we have our brand, we need to take care of branding, audience, competition analysis, content generation, then social media implementation. So we know that these steps. Now for each of these steps, there are more steps underneath it. So in order for us to get brand clarity, we need to fill the form, we need to talk to the client, we need to do a specific thing. So all those things now become part of your list. So I'm going to go back to what I was saying. I was just showing you this so that you understand that whatever projects you're working on, you need to break it down. If you are doing your website, you have a master list for your website. In order to do a website, I need pictures, I need logo, I need content, I need the client's brand style kits, I need to understand what the brand is about. So you won't just say, I'm creating a website and then tomorrow you expect the website to be completed. If you have a list, a checklist of everything that needs to be done, what you then do is you take what I call action steps. It's your to-do list. Action steps are the steps that you take every day. In order for me to create content, I must do one thing, I must do research. Okay, so I will put that as my action step. I'm not going to put 20 things on my action steps daily. What we've done is we've oversaturated our action steps list. We put so much there that we fail to accomplish anything. And some of us, when we don't, when we, I don't know about you, but I used to be like this before until I had to repent from this. But once I miss a step, I take 10 steps back. For example, with dieting, you are doing well, you're doing well, you're doing well. One day you just eat something you shouldn't, and then you just find yourself saying, oh, you know what, this thing is over. I'm not doing it again. With fasting, people do that. With praying, people do that. With going to the gym, especially. I haven't gone back to the gym since I left the gym in 2018. And before that, I did not go into the gym for 6 years. And I have a gym that is just beside my house. But I missed 2 days and I was like, oh, it's not worth it. If we don't get out of that attitude that, yes, maybe we took a step back, but that doesn't mean we failed. We can learn lessons from that and go back to getting things done. We will end up abandoning projects. We'll end up forgetting why we do what we do. We'll end up forgetting that the reason that I want to be a virtual assistant is so that I can earn an income from any place. Oh, I don't understand hashtags. That means I am not good enough. I don't know how to use keywords. I don't understand SEO. Bolaji said something about website. Oh, this thing is too much. You now take steps back. What you need to do is have an action steps list. Every day, put just a few things on your list. So, every day I say, tell me what you're going to do tomorrow. This is what I mean. What action, what's your plan for tomorrow? And plan your list the night before. If you finish everything on your list, then you can go and pick from your main list. But if you don't finish everything on your list, you won't pick. I'm not saying don't give room for flexibility and say, oh, this project needs my attention, let me go to it. Once in a while, you can do that. But having a list of the things that you want to do helps you. Now, all of you add this course on your list this morning, so you could plan in advance. Now I said, okay, I'm sending a video next week. We're not meeting. You are able to plan in advance. If you plan in advance, you become more proactive than reactive. And being proactive means that you are not just responding to the situation and the things around you, but you are able to think. You're not in a flight or fight mode. You are able to think. You are able to assess everything around you, and you're able to make better informed decision. Being reactive is something happens, you have to make a decision on the spot. You don't take everything into consideration and then you just react. I want a situation where, as people managing social media pages, you're very, very, very proactive and not reactive. Now, the mistake we make after all this, when we are doing our goals and everything, is that we don't do the R, which is review, reflect, and then refine. So this is what I mean by that. I want you to set aside time every day to review what you've done in the day, which is what you started doing indirectly by giving your daily accountability. Say, okay, this is what I did today. This is what I did not do. I planned to do this. I couldn't do it. This is the reason. Okay, I will make these changes tomorrow. The reason you're training yourself to do that daily, the reason I'm training you to do that daily is by consistently writing out what you were supposed to do and what you eventually did. It makes you become better. It makes you understand yourself. It doesn't make you wait till the end of the year to realize that, oh, my New Year resolution lasted only 2 days. Most people's New Year resolutions last 2 days. And if you have to review and reflect and refine it, you will now say, okay, based on my reflection, I am going to make these changes. So review first. This worked, this did not work. Okay, reflect. Why didn't this work? So you're asking yourself questions. Why didn't this work? Why did this work? Okay. All right, refine. I don't need to make any changes. I will stick to what I have done. Or, oh, I think I should make a couple of changes because this did not work. It's about understanding how your day went and not waiting till the end of the year to review yourself. Another thing is you can do that daily, then weekly, at the end of the week, you now come and sit down with yourself and say, oh, what am I going to do next week? How many projects am I supposed to work on? Oh, I'm working on 5 projects. Did I do everything regarding all these 5 projects? One project could be project life. Project life is you're a human being. There are certain things you need to do in life. So project life, fine. Project work, project school, project church, project family. So you say project personal, project life is your own life. What are you doing for yourself today? You can have that written on your list. Okay, today I want to be able to um learn something. I just want to relax today. That's why that time when I said, even if you didn't do anything, write that I didn't do anything, but missing a day of accountability. I think Biodo and I agreed that we'll start finding people because so that you understand that you are missing something. Because if you don't lose anything, you will just continue with that circle of no consequences. Now that we are adults and we're out of school, we have to place certain things in front of us to ensure that we stay on track. So fine, we're going to use your money to buy a guanimo, but we're doing it for your own good to make sure that you stay on track. And Biodu will tell us more about the consequences of not doing that. So I said you have a master list. Your master list is every single thing you need to do for this specific project. If project life is, oh, I need to call my friends, I need to cook, I need to go shopping, I need to do laundry, put all those things on your list so we can create different projects for you. If you want me to do something about that and send to you people so you can have kind of a spreadsheet that will help you do the different projects, I do not mind doing that. But project life is important. It's very important. Project spiritual growth is important. You have to read your Bible and pray every day. It's not only when there's Hallelujah challenge that you join prayer or when there's NSPPD, but you want to have personal time for your own personal reflection. If you do not plan it, it doesn't get done at all. Nothing gets done if we don't plan it. So we have what I call your daily must do. Remember I said we have your daily to do and your daily must do. This is a daily must do for a social media manager. You have to post daily. You have to curate. By curating, I mean looking at what others are doing, putting things in your saved items. I don't know about you, but how many of you have taken screenshots that you've never used again? How many of you have put things in a saved folder that you've never used again? I'm just raising up my hand because that's just me. You can just raise your hands or put me in the chat. How many of you have said, I will watch this video later, but you never do it? When you are creating things, put them in your calendar to say, oh, I will review on a certain day. Because we keep on putting things aside. Oh, I will read this book. Look, I have like how many books I've bought, I've not read them. We make plans, but we do not execute them. Because when we are creating and getting things, we do not create time to get this thing done. So a social media manager should design or be reflecting on design so you can sketch, but if you're training yourself to do this, respond to comments and DMs, engage with others, practice what we call social listening. Social listening is understanding that yesterday was the Emmys. So if you're a fashion brand and you were not aware yesterday was the Emmys, you will now say, oh, because of what you've seen online, let me create content in line with that. Then schedule your updates for the next day. Say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to do this. Check your mentions and your tags. Do what we call advocacy. Make it easy for your team to share. Tell people what you want them to share. Tag teams. Engage with your most valuable players in your industry. Connect with one new person one way or the other. Check out other social media profile. Ensure all your links are working. And monitor social media for phrases, keywords, and things that are trending. This for Team Restorative is non-negotiable. We will create a checklist where you will go through and say, have I done this? Have I done this? Have I done this? And for every social media manager, checklists are a written procedure for something you do on a daily basis. So when you're creating the list, you should have like a checklist. Like Team Restorative, our checklist is post link to WhatsApp or Telegram. I'm always mixing both up. For this DIY branding, something on your checklist is daily accountability. So that is not going to be a to-do. it is on a checklist because you're just going to check it off. It's something that you must do. So there are things that you should do and there are things that you must do that is non-negotiable. Eating is non-negotiable. Taking a shower is non-negotiable. There are certain things that are non-negotiable. What are your non-negotiable daily tasks that you must do? You need to know them. You need to know them. We've talked about the project before, saying branding, audience, competition analysis, content generation, and social media implementation. You will get to know more about this as we speak and work on this project. Now, does everybody here know how long it takes them to do certain tasks? How long does it take you to write a blog post? How long does it take you to write an email? How long does it take you to do a graphic design? How long does it take you to do a specific thing? You need to know how long it takes you to do a project in order for you to succeed. So for example, for me to prepare these slides, initially it would have taken me like 2-3 days. Now I know that if I do something about it every day, by the time I get my materials together, I can do it in a 3-4 hours. That's me. I now know how long it takes me to get it done in one sitting or in 2 sittings. This is from someone that writes blog posts for a living. And this is how long it took him to write all these things. So because the timer was on, he was able to keep account of how many hours it was taking him to do certain things. Some of us don't know how long it takes us to do things, because when we are working on one thing, we are working on 10 at the same time. And what I call the power of one, which is focus on one thing till you're successful. So if you writing a blog post is on your list, how long does it take you to write that blog post? Is it 2 hours? Is it 42 minutes? How did he know that this was the time that it took him to do this? 1 second, escape. So the reason he knew is because he was keeping account of the time and where it was going. There should be a time log. Okay. So he determined all the steps he needed to write a blog post. He said, okay, I need to do my research. It takes me like 40 minutes to do my research. And before I do my research, I should have an outline. Okay, an outline is simply this. If I tell you to write a story on the importance of time management, you will say, okay, what about time management do I want to research? If you have an outline, it's easier for you to do your research. So it takes him like 4 minutes to sit down and say, okay, this is what I want to focus on. And for different people, it's different things. For me, I will say I will use content creation. If I say I want to create a blog or content, I'll be like, what's the theme? What do I want to focus on for this carousel post? I want to focus on 5 books an accountant should read, or 5 books businesses should read. Okay, that's my topic. Then I now write an outline. Oh, I want to know books that have been given 5 stars, books that people recommend, productivity books. I write my outline of what I want to research. Then after researching, I do my headlines. Then maybe graphics can take someone 30 minutes, it can take somebody 2 hours, but the person knows how long it takes. If I'm creating images and editing pictures, it may take me 30 minutes per post. If I'm writing, it may take me 59 minutes, and then editing 29, 26 minutes. But you have to know how long it takes you to get anything done. So if you want to launch a website, for example, Bolaji, are you with us? When you want to launch a website, what are the things that you need to launch a website? So I'm just going to give examples of a website, of social media, and of something else so that we can see how easy it is for us to break a task. So the project is Project Team, and Project Team wants to launch a website 2.0, upgrade their website. So its task for the day may be finalize the main site's homepage copy. When it does, so that's a specific task. Then the to-do list will now be, okay, I need to first of all write the copy. I need to ensure that all the plugins are working smoothly and complete my daily must-dos for the website. So that can be the thing he wants to do, because he has looked at, if then he now takes that, okay, if I want to write the copy, these are the 12 things I have to do to write the copy. He still breaks it down again. If you are able to do that, you will get a better understanding of how to get things done. So content creation for this specific project is this, or to create a content strategy. If I want to create a post, I don't just create the post directly. I do certain things. The post doesn't create itself. So I must do research after choosing my topic. I have to design graphics. I have to choose my hashtags. I have to schedule my posts. I have to audit and I have to ensure it's in line with the content strategy and maybe what I have created. How long does it take me to do it? So I can't just come today and say I'm going to create 20 graphics when I have not done any research, because content does not create itself. You create content based on information that you have. So what are the things I must do every day, or I will do on certain days to ensure that I'm able to do this? One way to do it is just list certain activities. So I can say, okay, today I will create 5 graphics because it takes me 2 hours to create each graphic. Does that seem realistic? No. If it takes me 15 minutes to create each, okay, I can create 5 in an hour, because sometimes I may be faster, especially if I have my research. Know what you do every day. Another way to simplify it is just by saying, okay, I will focus on a task every day. So on Mondays, I can focus on doing research for the content I want to create for the week. So Monday, I will do research. I researched on 3 topics. This is what I found. I've put them in the places they need to be. Tuesdays, I can write the copy. Wednesday, I can think about the connection strategy. Thursday, I can think about designing. Friday, I will schedule. Saturday, I will audit and track. Sunday, I rest. So sometimes having tasks on specific day or action steps on specific days helps. But you have to choose what works for you and what works for your team, because remember, you are not working alone. So for us, our communication strategy is changing. We are like, okay, before clients come to us, let's go to them. So we need to start sending weekly emails. So we're going to start sending weekly emails on Tuesdays. So we meet on Sunday. Monday, we reflect on what we've said. And by Tuesday, it's Tuesday morning, on Monday midnight, the email is scheduled before the next morning. The client gets the email first thing on Tuesday morning, because their inbox may be oversaturated on Monday. So we are sure that by Tuesday, when they receive our email, we've answered all the questions that they may have. And that's what we are going to be doing. So you have to pick what works for you, because communication is important. You are not just communicating with yourself, you're either communicating with your team or communicating with clients. And you want to ensure that before you blow, before you grow big, you have systems in place that work for your business. So if you sell outfits, if you have a boutique and you know that, oh, a new stock is coming in, there are certain people that I need to communicate with, set a day in your week to say, oh, I email people on Tuesdays. I post out on Tuesdays. So you have to order before Tuesday in order for you to receive what I'm going to post to you. I only go to the post office once a week. If you want next day delivery, because of the way the delivery system is, I do not want to send a company that will this thing. And I saw yes. So if you have a question, please, you can raise your hand at any point in time so that I can answer your question. But yes, so if you, so now in order for me to send an email on a, yes, and I can hear you.
No, it was when you asked us to raise our hand.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So think about this. If I want to write an email, what are the steps that I need to ensure that email goes out on Tuesday? I have to ensure that all those steps are accomplished. So it's not Tuesday morning I now say, oh, I want to send an email. Everything has been done in advance. So being proactive and doing things in advance is important. So for websites, we know we need to do brand clarity, competition analysis, audience, content generation, editorial calendar. We already know what it takes to do every single thing. So this was what I said I do for when I'm writing a blog post. First of all, I decide a topic, or is it part of a series? Then I do my outline. Okay, what do I want people to know? What do I already know? If I know what I want people to know, it makes it easier for me to do a research that will make people want to read. And then I now do my research based on my outline. So I'm not doing my research vaguely. It's based on my outline. Then I write a rough draft. Then I think, oh, these are the pictures I need, these are the graphics I need. Then I rewrite it and edit it before I publish. So I know that it takes me 7 steps to write a blog post. So am I going to do all those 7 steps in one sitting? If I have all my resources, yes. If I have dedicated a day to blog post, I may be able to do that. But if I don't have all the resources, then I will say, okay, I will do research on a specific day and writing on another day. It's about understanding what works for you. So for us, we know that there are special projects we have apart from the day-to-day post. So when we get a new client, when we are trying to do editorial calendar and reviewing the calendar for a client, or when a client has a product that we are launching, there are certain things that we have to do to ensure that everything runs smoothly. So this is what we will now do. So we will have our to-do list. We will now say, we are going to research on a certain day, but we're going to publish some posts that we've already done. We will do social listening, we will do engagement, we will do the other things on Monday. So Monday by 1 o'clock, I am doing research. Tuesday by 2 o'clock, I'm doing my content strategy. But giving things specific timelines and specific dates on your calendar helps you to do things better. And this is the action plan I want everybody to take from today. Know your deadlines. Use short-term deadlines for daily tasks on getting things, getting everything on your list accomplished. You don't want to have a list that has 50 things. If you have 50 things to do in a day, I'm sorry, you won't get anything done. So that's why I ask you guys to always take the, because somebody say, why do I need to give accountability? You're giving accountability for your own good. You're giving accountability to retrain your mind to be able to do much more. Because when you are able to accomplish 1 or 2 things, you will have the confidence to do more. So competence gives confidence, and this is what it means. When you succeed in an area in 1 or 2 things, you are much more excited to try something else. And the funny thing about digital marketers is you can do an amazing job and then it doesn't get the reception that you want it to. But if you've planned your life and planned certain things, you'll be able to, 1, accomplish more, 2, ask for help in advance. And this is what I mean. Don't be afraid to ask for help. The worst thing the person can say is no, and that's on the person. If somebody does something, I'm on TikTok, I see other content creators doing stuff and I'll be like, wow, I like this tool that you use. I'm sure if you know how many tools I have found just by engaging with people, but asking for help. Now, when it comes to your team, when you are asking for help, don't wait till the last minute. So if you need more information from a client, don't wait till a day before the deadline to say, oh, we don't have access to your page. I always say, once we get a client page, the first thing we do is log in to ensure that we have the right password. So things, little things like that help us manage people's expectations and make us understand that even if I'm meant to get help from somebody, that person also has things on their to-do list. So I cannot just add to their to-do list because I need something done urgently. It's about being proactive. So if I put you in a group with others, don't wait till 2 days before your deadline to say, oh, I need XYZ. The person may be busy. So understand that you have to respect other people's time in order for them to respect yours. Plan your time, but also understand that if you're working on a project, you are not working alone. And like I said, show up for your brand every day. This means different things to everybody, but showing up on your brand every day doesn't necessarily mean posting online. I have not posted online in a while, but I'm showing up for my brand every day. I'm learning, I'm practicing, I'm teaching, I'm engaging, I'm creating. I'm showing up every day. Showing up means that you're doing something every single day to improve yourself, to be the best version of yourself. Not because anybody is holding you accountable or somebody is watching, but because you know what the world will lose if the world doesn't get what's in you. You understand what you know that you want the world to know. You understand that in order for me to excel and create that platform that others will want to move to, I have to show up. People are not sleeping. We are in a world where competition is global. We're no longer just competing with the person beside us. Think about it. We are all in different parts of the world now, and we can communicate. That's how easy it is for you to communicate with others when you show up for your brand. And I'll take questions now. Any questions before I show you the timeline of what we should be expecting for our online presence foundation? Any questions? Should I ask questions? How many people, how many items does everybody use a list system here? Does everybody, how do you plan your day? Or what did you gain from today?
Okay. Well, let me say something.
Okay.
I actually have list of things I would want to do for the day, including my house chores and maybe errands I need to run. So basically, I do it based on time. That's why I'm very cautious about my timing. So if I wake up as usual, my normal morning routine, pray, have my bath, get the kids ready. I'm always the one in charge of school runs, so they need to get to school on time. Then I know, okay, meeting is by 9. So due to network or whatever, sometimes I tend to join like 5 minutes to or 4 minutes to, so that I don't have the issues of network. Then immediately after the meeting, I already have like a list of things I would want to do immediately after the meeting. So basically, I just like do it based on hierarchy, what is important, and the list. Everything is important, but it's always the one that needs a sense of urgency. So if I'm supposed to do a research for NKBC, or I'm supposed to impute data on Airtable, I tend to like, okay, from, let's say, meeting ends by 10. So between 10 to 12, I should have been able to achieve 2 or 3 things within that period. So I impute those data, I do my research, just get the points, and I save it. Then I'm back from school runs, get the kids ready. Once everybody is settled, I go back, the points I've written down, and now start learning, see how I can now develop those points to get like a meaning or a sense out of it. Then in between, most times I enjoy working at night because then everybody's asleep, so nobody will telling me do this or do that. So I do it based on the things that are more important or that need urgency. So I think that's where my own timing comes in. So if you come in between and say, okay, we need to do this, if I already have a program for that time, it's like, how do I tend to squeeze or manage or put this? So that's why most times if I have any program or somebody who needs me or something, it's better you let me know so that I can involve you or put you in my time for that day. So that's how I plan my own day.
Everybody has a system that works for them. Everybody has a system that works for them. But if you don't have a system, you are just putting yourself in jeopardy. You'll be surprised. You have good intentions. You really want to do well. I don't think there's anybody here that just wakes up in the morning and says, today I want to fail, or I want to procrastinate, or I don't want to do. No, everybody has good intentions. How do we bring these good intentions to use if we don't know how we are managing our time? So there's a video on time management in the Facebook group. I will try and share the link with everyone so that we can see how we can manage our time. But time management is important. Having a system that you are able to reach, and we keep evolving. When we started, we were using just Google Docs. Now we use Airtable and Rock. One is for task management, one is for project management. So we know that, okay, as a team, our daily task is here, but the projects, all the details are here. You may be like, oh, it's a bit too much, but it's simplifying the process and making things easily retrievable. There's no need storing data if you can't retrieve it at all. There is no need storing data. Does anybody else have any questions? Any place they need clarity before we move on to this aspect of what to expect in the next session? All right, so moving forward, we're getting to DIY branding finally. And as we've said, the next session for DIY branding is October 4th. Tomorrow, next week, Monday is September 27th. However, because we're meeting on 29th for something, I don't want to bombard you with so much, but I want you to start thinking about yourself, and I may give you some things to do next week to keep you busy. But basically, this is how we're going to do the breakdown. It's different from the way we've done it before, but we're going to do based on branding. Then we get to know your audience. We do your market research. We look at your business focus. Then we look at your content groundwork. And that's it. So for branding, these are the things we're going to do when it comes to understanding your brand or understanding your clients. We'll look at the branding basics. This is more details: brand name, brand styling, brand visibility. What are brand values? Why are they important? Your brand message. Why are we going this in depth into branding? Because it's about being different. You do not want to blend into the crowd and be another black square in a world full of squares. You want to be that gold rectangle that stands out, that everybody just sees the black, and then you are standing out in your industry. I want everybody here to be able to say, I am standing out wherever I am. I am representing my clients in the best way possible. I'm the best in what I do. But it all starts with understanding your branding basics. Then you look at your audience. We're going to see who they are, their problems, their fears, their transformations, how you're going to improve the life of people. So far, as a personal stylist, when somebody comes to you and the person, just sometimes that some people are going through a lot and it affects them. But when they finish working with you, it's not just about giving them an outfit, but you've influenced them so much that their lifestyle has changed, that people see them and they're like, wow, this person has changed. Who is this person you are working with? That's what audience clarity does for you. It helps you define who that person you want to work with is, and then what transformation you are going to give that person. Then we go to your market research. We look at your competition analysis, your SWOT analysis, and your industry analysis. We also identify your blind spots. We may do much more than this, but basically, then we go to your business. What's your unfair advantage as a business? What are your strengths? What's at your core, at the core of what your business does? What are your goals? What's your unique selling points? What's your solution frame that you bring to the industry? What's your elevator pitch? What's your tagline? I am separating business from branding for specific reasons, and I will explain later. And then this is your content groundwork. How do you define your content? What do you want your digital footprint to be? What's your brand personality? All those things come under your content framework. And we're going to spend a couple of weeks. As you can see, content framework is the longest area, but I trust that everyone will be able to work with us on this aspect for content framework. But basically, it's just getting the right things done and ensuring that we are there. So this is what we are going to be doing for the next 14. No, so this is going to take us like 9 weeks to get all this done. I don't want to give everything in a few days, but we'll do it incrementally, and you'll be applying what you're doing. So you're not just going to be learning, you're going to learn, apply, come as a group, have conversations, because that's why you don't need me to have conversations. That's why I don't come on the Thursdays. I want people to have conversations without me, so that when you come together with me on Friday, you have questions that you can ask because you've gone with yourselves and interacted. Now, I just want to distinguish between focused work and Q&A session. And that shouldn't be. Focused work is simply this: you come together as a co-working session and work on specific projects. You are working. So for example, when you come for co-working, you can say, oh, I want to watch a video, I want to fill a form, I want to do specific things. Focused work is important, so that what I've observed is when you work online and you live with people, they tend to think you are flexible to do other things. But if they understand that you have a meeting every day at 9 a.m., they already know that between 9 and 11, you're busy. So use that opportunity to train yourself to work at that specific time. If you want to do evening sessions, you guys can still come together and work together so that it's not lonely, because reading on your own can be frustrating. But even if you are all just on the Zoom call muted and work for 45 minutes or 20 minutes, then come and discuss and go back to work. It helps you improve yourself. So doing focus group work sometimes helps. Doing focus individual work helps, especially if you're working in a remote setting. Most of us are used to engaging with people and working in offices. Most of us that are extroverts are struggling at this point in time. But we introverts are thriving because we love it this way. But when we come for the focus work sessions, I'm changing co-working, I'm calling it focus work, because I realize when we say co-working, people just come and ask questions and some people don't get any work done. Before you come for a focus work session or a co-working session, make sure you know what you want to work on. If you want to watch the content mindset video, come and do that. If you want to fill a form, come and do that. If you want to do a specific task, you want to watch the graphic video and create something, at the end of the focus work session, you know that the power of one has been accomplished. That means you've been like a stamp and you stuck to one letter from the start point to the destination. So within 90 minutes, how much work can you get done? That's how you'll be able to say, it takes me 10 minutes to do research. Oh, I realize that when I do research on my phone and I start scrolling and watching videos, or once I get on YouTube, I get distracted. So you'll be able to determine your distraction. Because me at TikTok, I was on TikTok till 2 a.m. yesterday. I have to tell myself, oh, it have do. Because TikTok to me is a place I learn a lot. As in, I saved a lot of videos. I was like, I will send them out in the morning. So I stopped sending people videos at night. But it's actually, I'm actually doing something good. But by depriving myself from sleep, I'm not improving myself. So find out what your distractions are this week. Identify your distractions as you're doing your daily accountability. What are your distractions? Identify them, and how can we eliminate them? Can some of them be eliminated? So Comfort has found out during the day, when she drops the kids off at school, she has a little time for herself. But once they come back, zero. So she has said, that's a distraction, so I will work at night. What is your distraction? And what are you going to do to either eliminate it or work around it? Any questions? All right, so if there are no questions, I will stop streaming and